Odra, Episode 1. In the heart of Umaru Kingdom, where injustice and immorality prevails, there lived a polygamous family which was widely known and esteemed as a home of conflict, rebellious, greediness, and eyes moist with tears from the first wife Ugana. Ugana was a woman of peace, endowed with beauty, a philanthropist, hardworking, unique and always submissive to her husband, Aikno. But the values she possessed has been sapped by greedy, lust, and betrayed under the guise of friendship. Unaware of the disguise that beneath human, Ugana accepted her childhood friend who came pleading to have a roof over her head for a couple of days. 2 days gone, I caught my husband having sexual intercourse with my friend Faith on our matrimonial bed. What my eyes saw was indeed beyond me. I never expected such adultery from people I can barely sworn my life for. I gazed fixed at Faith as she made her way out without showing any remorse. It wasn't intentional, Ugana. Please forgive me. Aikno falls to his knees begging and crying out bitterly. Deep down I knew Aikno can't hurt my emotions, because over some decades of being into marital status with only one child he never thought of cheating or taking a second wife that would bear him a male child, Aikno declared to his wife. She seduced me, yes, she seduced me. I can't possibly have the intention to hurt you, and how could you stoop so low to have an affair with my friend? She asked in disappointment. I'm so sorry, Ugana, Aikno apologized. As 4 weeks turns to a month, Faith returned back to my house with a native basket made with palm leaves filled of her belongings. I approached her immediately and queried, "What do you want again?" "I'm pregnant." She dropped the bombshell right in the very presence of my husband and daughter, Odra. With my mouth agape, I sat my ass down on a stool momentarily dumbfounded. Considering how important children are to African men, I gave my husband my blessing. To bring her in as my co-wife, etiquette and decorum demands that, where there's a polygamy, there's no atom of peace, but, as my best friend I have a such feelings that things will work out simultaneously between me and her. I erased all she has done to me even though she wasn't bothered to ask for forgiveness. I showed her immense care and always wakes up as early as the early morning cock crows to ask for safe delivery from gods of our land on her behalf. My joy erupted like that of an avocado as Faith gave birth to a set of bouncing twin boys after completing 9 months of delivery. May the gods be praised, may the gods be praised, may the gods be praised, I screamed and danced joyfully, drawing the attention of neighbors. Aikno deviated his love and attention to Faith and her children because they were male children. I weep every single day when being overwhelmed by Faith. If I tried to scold her or retaliate, Aikno would shout me up and lay abuses on me. I and my daughter, Odra, became a slave and abandoned by them. On a nice atmosphere in Umaru village, everyone came out in their respective compound to enjoy the pleasing breeze. Faith and Aikno were under an orange tree gisting and laughing out loud like ones who won a jackpot. Odra rested on her mom's laps feeling so famished. "Mom, I'm hungry," she finally spoke. Well, she couldn't ignore. "There's no food, my daughter, but let me ask you, Father," Ugana replied and tiptoed towards the orange tree. "Aikno, please, our daughter is already dying of starvation," said Ugana, already on her knees. "I don't waste my hard-earned money on female child, so you guys should suit yourselves." He bawled. "Please, you heard him right, so get lost." Faith abruptly interrupted. Ugana aroused the anger in her. She lifted up her palms to smack Faith on both cheeks, but got hold by her husband. Faith, on the other hand, took up a long wooden stick to hit on her, and it mistakenly landed on Aikno forehead. When she noticed Aikno was dead, she began to scream at the top of her voice, "Ugana has killed my husband. She has shed blood. Oh, neighbors, come out, oh, the worst has happened." People began to hurry down to Aikno compound, anticipating to get the full story of sudden departure of Aikno. At a point, news came across the great warriors of Umaru village. They stumbled upon the compound with a bitter heart and heaviness. "I didn't kill anyone, I'm innocent," Ugana said in a teary-eyed dot. She turned swiftly at Faith and proclaimed, "Please, tell them the truth." Faith narrated a fake story that made Ugana falls guilty of the incidents. "My mom is innocent, she's innocent," Odra spoke. But no one pays attention to her. A murderer can never go unpunished, said the head of warriors. Yes, others chorused, according to custom and tradition of our land, whosoever that is, her palms are soaked with blood will be stoned to death, right? He asked. Yes, others chorused again. A moderate breeze fluttered into the palace of King Momoro as the trees began to wave its leaves. The people had gathered on the compound shouting and singing a sorrowful song. Silent people of Umoro Kingdom, the guard bowed. We are here to see our great king, said the head of warriors, Ike, sweating profusely. What do I owe this visit, my people? King Momoro asked as soon as he stepped into their midst with his 6 elders standing beside him. May you live long, my highness, Ike bowed before him and continued, Faith, the second wife to Aiknor, has something to say about the great disaster that befalls her household not quite long ago. The king nodded and gave her an endorsement to speak. Ugana is evil, Ugana is evil, she murmured her husband. She made me a widower at an early stage of marriage with just 2 children. Who will be the father to my 2 sons? Who will train them for me? Faith asked, faking a pathos expression that made the village exclaimed, Chai, speak up, woman, and stop beating about the bush, King Momoro scolded. Ugana murmured her husband with a wooden stick because of the little argument they heard. She briefly narrates. The king widened his eyes in shock and uncertainty. He glimpsed at Ugana, whose body was messed with dust and blood due to reckless beating from the warriors. All the elders began to murmur among themselves. Are you guilty or not guilty? The king asked as he turned swiftly towards Ugana. Ugana raised up her face, wiped off her tears and running nose. She then replied, May you continue to live long on earth if you serve justice and not otherwise. For the upteen time, are you guilty or not guilty? King Momoro furiously asked, May the gods of our land, moon, sky, and stars bear me witness that I am not responsible for my husband's death. Rather she, are you guilty or not guilty? He asked again as he slacked up his moshe. I swear with the remaining fetus in my womb that I'm innocent, Ugana said. She gazed at Faith and waved her head repeatedly as tears streamed down her cheek. Gods of our land, I will be stoned to death, but my spirit can never and ever be in weakness, Ugana said and shifted her gaze at Odra, who was shedding continuously as if her life was going to end instantly. I'm so pierced that I'm about to leave you to the world of no return. Take heart, my beloved daughter. My expensive jewelry, my heart beats, the only joy that's left on earth. Odra, please always have a golden heart as your mother and also don't repeat her mistake which sent her to an untimely death. Remember the hand which was used to raise you up. I know it will be so unbearable and unforgettable mystery. But take heart and wipe your tears, for you won't cry forever. The skies and moons will always be your limits and your light can never be quenched by any mortal. Izzy, Odra said and hugged her mom tightly. They tied Ugana's hands and legs backward and began to stone her. Stop. She groans in pains, locked her eyes and died at the spot. Woo, 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 woo. Faith began to sing and dance joyfully as others joined in. 2 hefty men carried Ugana corpse and burnt it into ashes. Odra cried as the smoke kept evaporating across her nostrils.